Managing a product through the product lifecycle is hard. It is even more difficult to grow a product as a product owner in these challenging times. Product ownership is very complex and multifaceted as a challenge. And because of the complexity of the topic, there's no single linear approach to mastering product ownership. That's why we need agile and lean approaches and a wide range of knowledge and skills. You can study product management for years in college. This shows how profound and demanding the entire discipline is. It also shows how long it takes to build the skills required to be successful in the field. To succeed, you need the right skills and the right approaches. Only if you're aware of the complexity and know what you're doing will your product be successful throughout the entire product lifecycle. So ask yourself, what do you do to grow and manage your professional skills as a product owner? One thing is clear. It's not enough to leave the development of your professional product management skills to chance. You need to take a structured approach to developing your skills. So let's start by talking about product management in general. When you understand that product management is nonlinear and complex, you learn that an agile and lean approach is the best idea to succeed with your product. You have to iterate, experiment, create hypotheses, and test a lot. Sometimes when you try to figure out the product market fit, you need to understand the value proposition of your product and make sure that it meets the end consumer's needs and matches the customer segment that you're trying to appeal to and has the right feature set and the right user experience to satisfy your users. So you might start by asking questions like, what is the right market segment? What are the real user needs? Have we ever chosen the right value proposition? If you've ever done a lean model canvas before, these are all questions that are incorporated into the 9 sections of that canvas. Do the selected features fulfill a value proposition? Can we deliver these features? Can we deliver a good experience? Those types of things. And once again, all this is incorporated in a lean canvas. The thing you have to remember is no single person can typically answer all those questions, not even a product owner. Because to answer all those questions, you would be making assumptions and hypotheses. It's just the way it is. Assumptions and hypotheses can be divided into 2 areas, though, the problem space and a solution space. So to answer these questions, you need to have an experiment and test out your experiment. So if you, for example, had a product and you wanted to say that people over a certain age were less likely to use your product, or people from a certain geographic or demographic area, or people over or under a certain income level, these are all great hypotheses for you to prove. And in my product owner classes, especially my advanced product owner classes, I teach about the importance of developing a hypothesis and then proving or disproving the hypothesis as part of the information model so you can have model maturity around what you're trying to do. So you need to make certain there's a differentiation between a problem space and a solution space. And the product owner is responsible for making strategic, tactical, and operative decisions at all levels of the product pyramid to establish a hypothesis and verify or falsify those through experimentation. Makes sense. Through practical experience, you'll see time and time again that product owners who are just settling into the role focus too much on the solution space, almost completely, almost exclusively, and the operational work, while the more experienced product owners dedicate themselves to a broad spectrum of operational, tactical, and strategic tasks in both spaces. In other words, both the solution space and the problem space. With this new approach for a maturity model, you should look at the time and focus spent on each of the different spaces and balance it accordingly. Sometimes when you are looking into product ownership, you need to look beyond just product ownership oversight, and you need to decide what type of product owner you are. So I've heard some that I like to refer to as the scribe product owner or the secretary. These are primarily administrators. The product backlog and translate stakeholders' wishes into user stories. This is more of a business analysis role, right? This role has limited authority and is common in organizations that are new to Scrum or new to Agile, and they are not fully embracing Agile and lean product management. When I refer to a scribe product owner, a lot of times they're still a developer or they have another active role on the team or in the organization. Therefore, they only can scribe operatively, not tactically, and they can only do it for a short amount of time successfully. Then there's somebody I call the proxy product owner. The proxy product owner has more authority than the scribe product owner does, but they can make limited choices in ordering the backlog. However, they're not the final decision maker and require approval for any changes in priority, planning, or backlog. The proxy product owner is a more mature level where the person lived the role already for a couple of months or years, and they can make limited tactical decisions. But both the scribe and proxy product owners focus on the solution space and have little to no focus on the problem space at all. Then there is the product owner. The product owner, or full-fledged product owner, as I like to call them, is the broader interpretation of the role. It can vary, of course, from company to company, or even from organization to organization, or group to group, or team to team, how the role is lived. But to distinguish between a proxy product owner and a full-fledged regular PO, you should observe that product owners switch from not only focusing on the solution space to also considering the problem space. Often they still focus too much on the solution space, but at least they dedicate some focus and invest in the market and user needs. Therefore, these types of product owners also on longer terms and make tactical and even strategic decisions. To do so, they need more frameworks, tools, and skills than a proxy product owner does. They also need help from a bafata, which two of those above were ba and fa. Interesting, right? Then there's the senior product owner. The senior product owner helps build product development culture and systems around them. They enable the development team to deal with solution space and focus on strategic, tactical, and operational tasks in the problem space. Of course, they still focus on prioritizing work and maximizing value of the development team, but they also now have a chance to look at business strategy and product strategy, and they can spend their time focusing on the more strategic, scalable tasks that create the most value. So if you put it all together, the focus of the scribe and product owner solution space is minimal. And it's kind of the old operational task way of thinking of how they're going to execute and get things done. Where the real product owners and product leads and product managers are starting to focus on the bigger and bigger picture. If I had to summarize it all, what I would say is, in actuality, instead of looking at it as 4 different types of product owners, you could easily look at this and say that a product owner can't do it by themselves, number one, and that product ownership accountabilities are starting to shift more in the direction of quality management and change management throughout the organization, instead of focusing on a simple product or service solution with just the details of how to organize a backlog. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.